Welcome to Reflections, a program where we discuss values and virtues for the transformation of the individual and the society in general. I am Father George Ehusani, and I have with me once again in the studio Professor Emmanuel Funsho Oluyitan. Prof,
that's right.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Great. I pronounce your name very well.
Correct.
Great. Like an Ekiti man. Great.
You live in Ekiti before.
Yeah, I lived for 1 year in Ekiti, so I can pronounce those names. Professor Oluyitan is a communicator. He's a teacher. He is a veteran of broadcasting in this country. And I brought him to the studio more specifically on his anti-corruption activities, being the founder and the champion of the Nigerians against Association of Nigerians against Corruption. And in the programs of Terra Leadership Foundation against corruption, he's now involved, and I'm happy to have him. Now, Prof, what is the future of the anti-corruption fight in Nigeria? You've been in the country for some time now, and you see the efforts being made. Unfortunately, it is not being properly coordinated, and we don't seem to be able to convict high-profile people of corrupt practices in this country. Many people think that the efforts are haphazard or slipshod. What do you think we can do? I would say we take it on the level of government. You have been doing a lot on the level of the individual. So on the level of the individual, you talk about taking oaths and how it is. I saw this book of yours, your second PhD.
Yes.
Prof did a second PhD after 30 years.
32 years
of the first one.
The first one.
He did a second PhD, and his research was on how to combat corruption at the grassroots level in Nigeria. And particularly focused on this oath taking and how 90% of those who took oaths against corrupt practices, research shows that up to 90% of them kept their oath, refrained from acts of corruption, to show the efficacy of oath taking, especially for religious people, I would say. But somebody just said to me recently that Nigerians are no longer afraid of hell. They are no longer afraid of eternal punishment.
Well, it really doesn't matter if they are afraid or not. Hell is there.
Oh, okay. Whether they are afraid. So they better be afraid.
They better be afraid.
Great. Good. So, because you see, the oath taking is related to belief in eternal punishment.
Yes.
If you do not believe in eternal punishment, then it renders void. So it will be terrible if Nigerians no longer believe in anything, because what will now be in a country where there are no sanctions, where the rule of law is weak, where the judiciary is, the police system is weak, sanctions are weak. If there is no fear of eternal punishment, if you can do anything and get away with it, that would be a jungle. It will render our society as a jungle, really. What do you think?
Well, as I've said to you now, hell is there. And hell begins here on earth. So that is one thing we have to let people understand. The hell is not up. It begins here.
Yeah, because as you lay your bed, so you lie on it.
And we see it every day. We just have to bring it to the attention of people. I mean, look at the amount, the rate of Nigerians today who are just dropping dead.
Yes. In their prime.
In their prime. And then whatever happened now, they carry them abroad to different hospitals in China, in India.
And many die, and
they
still
die. You can go into the Bible and see verses. You can go into the Quran and see verses that tells you that the temple of the corrupt shall catch fire. The temple of the corrupt shall be burnt by fire. It's not the temple, the building you make. It's your body temple that is catching fire. And for the honest people, I will provide water in their life forever. I will feed them. Luckily, in this program we had with you, you had some writings that you circulated to us.
Yes.
The Bible, what the Bible say about corruption. what the
Quran
says about corruption. Yes. These are the kinds of things that we as Christians in our churches, in our mosque, we should lay emphasis on. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, when I read all the verses I've read in the Bible, preachers don't talk about them in the church. Why? Are they corrupt too? They don't refer to those verses for people to see the punishment that is waiting for them on earth if they are corrupt.
Yes.
And the punishments are waiting. And people are suffering out of it.
I mean, Nigerians, we have all the resources.
Yes.
We have all the intellect. We have all the know-how. But Nigeria continues to degenerate.
Yes.
And how is it that many people cannot see that these are consequences of the way we have chosen to live our life, the choices we have made, especially the choices leaders make?
One thing in life that we know is that there are competing commitments in the life of a human being. When a child is born, when the child begins to recognize his or her existence, let's say age of 4 or 5, maybe the next door girl, the next door boy has a bicycle. He begins to tell his father, Daddy, buy me a bicycle like that one. He begins to have commitment in his mind. Competing commitment.
Yes.
And the father now says, oh, how could I get money to buy this boy a bicycle? It's been worrying me. If the father is poor, he doesn't have the money. If he has a job, he might begin to be thinking, can I steal something from there? Can I make some money from there so that I can buy this boy a bicycle? That's at the lower level. At the higher level, all the people that we voted for, they have so much commitments that are competing in their mind that they have to provide for.
And their legitimate income
cannot meet. So what should we be doing in churches, in mosques? We'll be trying to change the mindset of people not to be anxious about things of this world, which the Bible teaches.
Oh, sure.
You know, and be satisfied with what you have. And be honest in what you are doing, and God shall continue providing for you if you are honest. And your needs shall be provided for. He gave example. Look at the birds
of the air.
Of the earth. Where I live in my house now, in Efolaye, I stay home most of the time in the day, unless I'm going to talk to a school. And I watch the goats, I watch the hens, I watch the birds flying.
And you watch the lizards walk about.
I watch the lizard, and everybody pick food. Everybody eat. Everybody
the
move
Lord
around.
provides for them.
Lord provides for them. How much more me that He created also? And He has always been providing for me without stealing, without taking bribe, without defrauding my employer.
So, having taken a vow, an oath of transparency in 1957, you have never lacked.
I've actually resigned jobs that had the temptation.
You resigned from customs service because of...
I resigned from customs service. I always tell people I have my letter of employment in my hand up to today. And I resigned from custom.
Because you saw
what
some
was
shady
going
deals.
on. I couldn't stand it. It's tempting. So if the kitchen is too hot,
get out the kitchen.
So that's how I left custom.
How do Americans say, if you cannot stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
You know, as a newspaper reporter, there is this style of brown paper.
Brown envelope.
Brown envelope. After you cover a press conference or something, everybody hang around waiting for brown envelope.
It's still going on.
It's still going on. I never in my life as a newspaper reporter took a brown envelope.
You saw it as an act of corruption.
Yes. And some of my friends will say, Funsho doesn't need the money. You know, it's not a matter of needing the money. You know,
it's a matter of being contented
with what I have. And my principle not to break my oath. Although I didn't tell them I took an oath, they didn't know. Maybe I should be bragging to them about it, I don't know. But I just kept it to myself and kept my oath.
And as a teacher, you never had any...
Oh, as a teacher, you see, the thing that happened in 1984 was war against indiscipline. Discipline is very necessary. If you are disciplined, you will not do any wrong thing.
Right now, these days, a lot is going on in universities. And people even speak of sorting. We have all kinds of euphemisms to describe brazen acts of corruption. So they say it's just as they can call corrupt practice hustling. They call it sorting. So the students have a way of sorting out the teachers, meaning bribing the teachers so as to be awarded marks. So, and then it means that those who teach at that high level in our ivory towers, some may be engaged in some terrible practices.
Yes, indeed, because they have no self-discipline. It happened during my time, also when I was teaching at ABU. Students will come to your class, female students, and deliberately, the type of dress they wear will be to entice you,
so that you become blind and you are no longer able to judge.
I have a note that I kept in my drum box at home that a female student gave to me, and the note read, "Anything you want, the answer is yes."
Which year was this?
This was when I was teaching.
Anything you want, the answer is yes.
The answer
before
is
you
yes.
even ask.
Before you ask, anything you want, the answer is yes. That was the topic of my sermon in my classes. I did not reveal the name of the student to anybody, but I always refer to it. That, a student gave me this note. Anything you want, the answer is yes. So these are all some of the reasons why some of our students said that let us start this anti-corruption program. When I told them the oath have taken, and it's an oath of discipline. It's an oath against corruption. It's an oath of transparency in anything you do. And so it doesn't take them time to know the type of person that I am.
Beyond the Association of Nigerians Against Corruption, ANAC, that you promote and then you encourage people to take this oath, what do you think individuals can do beginning from family? You mentioned in our first segment about how your father raised you. What can we do beginning from families and in schools? Imagine that many people don't want to take oaths. Imagine that ANAC doesn't reach everywhere. What can you suggest to Nigerians that are concerned about the level of corruption in this society?
Okay.
What are the other avenues? You have said oath taking is an efficacious method. Any other method?
Well, see, the method will promote oath taking.
Okay.
And the method, again, begins from home. The research that I did for the book, and I said 90% said they kept their oath. All these people gave credit to the home.
To the home that nurtured them.
That nurtured them. Some say my father, some say my mother. Everybody gave credit to that home. And then they begin to talk about school, then about peers. So those three factors, they are still there.
School, peers.
Yes.
And we cannot neglect
we can't neglect church.
Yeah.
And let's say faith.
Yes.
Or religion.
Yes.
Because some people refer to the fact that they go to mosque, they pray, they do all these things in the mosque all the time. And as you know, as Nigerians, in my part of the country, there are so many mountains that people go, they sleep there, all over. And we have people going to all kind of worship every month, everywhere. So we just have to encourage parents. We have to start from parents because we are all parents, Even if we don't have children now, those who are going to grow up and become parents, they have to cultivate act of discipline. That's very necessary.
I think
act of discipline.
I think it is at the level of the home of parents that we are really losing it. Because what is happening today perhaps is that a lot of the parents we are expecting to inculcate discipline and transparency in their children, they themselves are not disciplined.
They're not disciplined.
So how do we positively affect the situation if a number of parents today, young parents, are not disciplined? So how do we turn things around?
The major place of gathering where we can address parents are where? Churches
And mosques.
and mosques. You know, in Nigeria today,
Yes.
this now become the responsibilities of our religious leaders.
So where the family has failed or
Yes.
is failing, then we rely on religious
Of
organizations
course.
to fill the gap.
They should. They should fill the gap. You know, not only just recruiting members to come to your church, but what do you teach them?
What is the
You
content?
know, what is the content that you are passing to them? It's not just the content of you want to be rich, you know, come on here. You want to have babies, come to my church. You are looking for passports to go to America. It's so odd when I listen to that on the radio. You are looking for passport to go to Europe. Come, we'll pray for you. God will provide it. You will get the visa. You're looking for visa to go. So how can you get visa without meeting the necessary requirements?
Well, if the pastor prays for you, then you get visa. Well, and our people can be so desperate and
Yes.
gullible. You know, when desperation is combined to gullibility and mass ignorance, then what you get is what you get.
Yeah.
It means you then have a mass of people who don't work hard, who don't want to meet the requirements, but they think they can just sit down and everything fall on their laps.
That's where the competing commitments, you know, come in, and they want to satisfy that commitment by all means.
Yes.
You know,
I always say that one of the factors behind the high level of corruption in this country is that many Nigerians appear very desperate when they need when they want anything. Every want now becomes a need.
yes,
And then you pursue this artificial need with all desperation. So people are ready to do just anything to grab this thing they want, which they have translated to need. I mean, how come that many people cannot see that there is a massive distinction between wants and needs?
they have not been properly trained or taught about what the Bible says or what the Quran says. Remember now, this is a God-centered approach we are talking about.
Yes.
So we are still failing in the religious circle. We are failing a lot in the religious circle.
At our encounter yesterday,
Yes.
we spoke about the naked public square.
Yes.
If you talk about combating corruption at the grassroots level in Nigeria, which is a major topic for you, if the grassroots, one of the most important elements of the grassroots will be the public square,
Yeah.
meaning the center of our lives, the village square, the town hall.
Where everybody will come.
Yes, and then the leader,
Yes.
the community leader. All this amount to the public square in any society. If that public square is naked, if that public square is devoid of values, where do we go from here? If even a number of churches, we now find all kinds of charlatans, ignorant people running churches, and are just gathering people in order to get visa, in order to have babies, in order to have money. If that is now the focus of many churches, and many human beings are flocking to these prayer houses to get visa, to get husband, to get whatever. If that becomes the focus, what it means is that the public square is naked. How do we address such a problem?
What made up the public square are the people.
Yes.
You and I.
Yes.
The concept of grassroots in my book
Yes.
is very simple. If you are a farmer and you have some weed in your farm that does not allow other crops to grow, if you cut off the head,
It's not going to solve the problem.
it's still going to grow
So you have to go to
the root
of the grass.
of the grass and pull it out completely. And that root consists of every Nigerian from the top to the bottom. Those are the people that I'm addressing. Although I go to the market, although I go to churches, although I go to schools, My book is in the hand of the powers that be in Nigeria. I personally gave them
copies,
as I got copy to you.
Great.
So I haven't heard back from them.
The book Professor is speaking about,
yes,
if the camera can focus on it, is Combating Corruption at the Grassroots Level in Nigeria by Funsho Oluyitan, and it is published by Palgrave Pivot Books,
yes,
in the US.
US.
Great. And are you making any provision to publish these books in Nigeria so that it will be more easily available?
Well, I'm looking at the publishers in Nigeria, and it looks like, again, you know, they make more money than the author. They don't even want to give the author anything. You have to pay them. You have to pay them to publish. Which means, you know, they publish any garbage.
Yes, whoever can pay.
This one, I didn't pay to publish it. They look at your work.
Quality of your work.
If it is quality, they publish it for you, and they give you commission on the sales.
And this is the leaflet
brochure for
the Association of Nigerians Against Corruption. And one-liner is, I will never give or take bribe. I will never take or give bribe.
That's our logo.
That's the logo.
You see, we're taken with a war. You see, because when we form it, the concept of war against indiscipline,
yes,
you know, was alive.
Yes.
So that's why we use something that is fighting war. You know.
To be corrupt is to be spoiled,
yes,
contaminated, rotten, deteriorated from the normal or standard, specifically morally unsound or
yes,
debased, from Webster's dictionary. So, Prof, you have done a lot of work, and I just pray that many more people join you, found their own associations.
Yes,
let many more associations spring up.
That's what we need.
Yes.
You know, everybody tackle it from different angles.
Yes.
Like what you are doing, that you have invited us to come and brainstorm.
Yes.
You know, something will come out of it.
Yes.
Now, all the people that are helping you to do this, they will be contributing to this fight that we are talking about.
If we do not do something about corruption, we don't have a future.
No.
And our leaders, a lot of the leaders that are corrupt, need to recognize that their children will have no place to come back to. I mean, some have sent their children overseas to school in nice places where people have used discipline to organize the society.
Yep.
Now, if you are indisciplined and promote indiscipline and corruption, then your children will have no place to come back to.
No success.
Yes, because success without successor is failure.
It's failure.
Yeah. So we really need to work hard on this and listen to those wise words we find in the scriptures of both Islam and Christianity.
It's there.
Yeah.
Even take the 10 Commandments only. Yes. Just read 10 Commandments only. And I always tell people that I'm fascinated by the book of Proverbs.
Fascinating.
Just read the
book of
Proverbs.
As you were talking, I just looked at verse 2 of Proverbs chapter 29. Okay. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Yes.
But when the wicked rule, the people groan.
Yeah.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the corrupt, the wicked, when they rule, the people groan.
Because of corruption that they are doing. When the righteous are there, they make life easy, they make life simple, they make life interesting.
It attracts blessings.
You know,
it attracts blessings.
Yeah. Everybody do their rights, you know. So that's the book of Proverbs is what I always tell people to read first. Before they read any other book in the Bible.
So what will you, if you are to say in a few words to Nigerians, what will you tell Nigerians if you had just 2 minutes to give a message to Nigerians about the evil of corruption and why we all must be committed to transparency? How would you put it?
Very simple. I would tell them to remember there is no hell in heaven. The hell is here on earth. And if you do evil things, you and your generation will suffer from hurt here. And the rest of the punishment you may get in heaven, but you will get most of them here on this earth. And there are examples all over surrounding you. Just open your eyes and see what is happening around you.
That the punishment for the evils we are doing, the corrupt deals we are into, the punishment is right around us.
Around us. Just ask, why, when you see things happen, ask yourself, why is this happening to this person? Why is that thing happening? Why is certain people doing this, you know? What is happening to them?
So it's a matter of enlightened self-interest.
Yes.
To shun corruption.
Then you will begin to discover that the evil that men do, you know, not just the good, the evil they do happen, the punishment happen in their life.
Is it not the question of cause and effect principle? That you commit an act of corruption, that's a cause.
Yes.
An effect is following immediately.
Yeah. Somebody asked me, I said, instead of asking people to take an oath on the Bible or Quran, why don't they take an oath on traditional method like
Shango or use iron?
I said, if that is their faith, they can take it. I will provide it for them. If that's their faith. And the person said that the iron things give judgment immediately.
Instant.
I said, that's okay. I said, God is God of mercy.
Our own God is a God of mercy.
Mercy, He will still give you chance, you know, which is okay. To give you chance to repent, to see whether you will change. But if you don't change, you will still get the punishment. You get it here, and you get it up there. But it begins here. I am very sure of that it begins here.
Professor Oluyitan, that I've been speaking with, a champion of anti-corruption right from 1957. I mean, when I first saw 1957, I thought it was the typographical error.
No, I always repeat it.
But we have seen that indeed he started the crusade after an experience with a staff of ECN, Electrical Corporation of Nigeria, after an encounter with a corrupt official in 1957. He undertook this campaign, got registered as a member of an anti-corruption body, and founded one in 1984, and has continued today. What really touched my heart in a recent presentation is when I saw at his age, at the age of 77, Professor Oluyitan being on the streets of Abuja like a one-man parade with a microphone, talking to people against corruption. How I wish we can have hundreds of persons like this who spend their lives campaigning against corruption for the future of our children. Because if we don't do something about these corrupt practices, it is the decay that has set in this country. We are not likely to survive for much longer with this level of decay. When the organism begins to decay, it is about to collapse. The structure is about to come down. So if we do not do something about this level of corruption in our society, we are not going to have a country to sit down to discuss about. It has been wonderful having you, Prof.
Yes, indeed.
And thank you for the work you are doing for our country and for the future of this country.
There is a song we used to sing if we have time when I was in the choir in the church. I'm not going to sing it. It's in Yoruba. I will just tell you the meaning in English. Where are they? They've all gone home. Those who fought and they left good legacy for us. They are looking down at us and they are telling us we should be careful so that it may not come to an end during our time.
Yes.
By the grace of God, it will not come to an end during our time.
By the grace of God, the work you are doing in your lifetime, you will start seeing the fruits.
Amen.
God bless you.
Thank you so much for that. It's a blessing to be with you.
I mean, just to see your health at this age and the strength God has given you is already a blessing for the work you are doing.
Thank
and
you.
may others look at this and learn from it.
Amen.
God bless you.
Thank you.